Hey, Gabriel here with the Icon Capture GPS Intelligence Brief for May 29th, 2026. All right, commercial research analysts and business development leads, we need to talk because this is one of those boards where if you only look at the opportunity count, you are going to misread the market. Here's what I want to do with you today. I want to walk through the new opportunity flow. The legislative and executive movement, the regulatory and court signals, and then bottom line what this means if you're actually managing a portfolio right now and trying to decide where to lean in, where to stay patient, and where you may be kidding yourself. Before we start, this is the last brief before this terrain window narrows. 0 seats left in the GPS displacement window review. 4,092 opportunities, competitive displacement windows this week. That signal is what opened this session, and it will not repeat the same way tomorrow. Code GPS282 at the-icon.ai capture now. Let's read the board. So let's get right to the facts. Over the last 168 hours, GPS surfaced 4,092 new opportunities posted on SAM.gov, 3,427 legislative signals, 0 federal hiring signals across 0 agencies, 8 C-SPAN captures, and all of that is happening while market BCL is 0% with 0 agencies stalled under the continuing resolution. The opportunity flow over the past 168 hours has been robust, with 4,092 opportunities entering the market. Yet, the narrative isn't just about the sheer volume. If we look at the top postings, such as the 245 MATOC for SRM requirements in Okinawa, Japan, and the construction contracts at Tobihana Army Depot, it becomes clear that the landscape is rich but concentrated in certain strategic areas. The capture ticker shows a consistent thread of potential in areas tied to infrastructure and overseas commitments, aligning with ongoing defense priorities. Interestingly, the board tells a different story when we consider the BCL percentage, which remains at 0. This suggests that while opportunities abound, the barriers to capture seem minimal. However, this doesn't equate to accessibility. Commercial research analysts and business development leads should note that a high opportunity volume without corresponding legislative or regulatory adjustments could signal a temporary market opening rather than a sustained trend. Is the market truly accessible, or are we witnessing a temporary swell in opportunity flow without the supporting infrastructure to enable companies to act on them effectively? The absence of new regulations or court opinions hints at a static compliance landscape, indicating that the real challenge may lie in execution rather than entry. Here, the capture terminal provides a strategic advantage by filtering opportunities through a lens of historical context and current market conditions, helping teams prioritize where to place their bids. Turning our attention to secondary signals, it's noteworthy that terrain holes, hiring spread, court opinions, and lobbying clusters all register at 0. This absence might initially suggest stability, but for those who read this market, it signifies something more nuanced, a potential oversight or mispricing in the market's current evaluation of risk versus opportunity. Without terrain holes indicating geographical or sector gaps, and no significant hiring spread or lobbying activity, we're looking at a landscape that appears stable but may be overlooking emergent pockets of demand. For business development leads, this combination suggests that the real value might lie in identifying and targeting niche markets or under-the-radar sectors that aren't currently drawing widespread attention. The lack of court opinions and lobbying clusters could point to an environment where regulatory and policy risks are low, but it could also mean that the market is in a holding pattern, waiting for the next big policy shift. Managers who read this tape know that these quiet periods can precede significant changes, offering a window for strategic positioning. Ultimately, this combination of signals invites a closer look at areas where traditional metrics might not fully capture emerging opportunities. For those willing to dive deeper into the data, smart portfolio moves will be about anticipating shifts before they manifest visibly on the board. The market is a dynamic intersection of federal demand signals and commercial adjacency, requiring a nuanced understanding of both sectors to capitalize on opportunities. Are you effectively tracking the shifts in demand signals to anticipate federal procurement trends? How are you leveraging commercial adjacency to strengthen your strategic position? Have you integrated system theory insights to sustain a forward-looking competitive edge? The ability to synthesize these elements into actionable intelligence will determine your success in navigating this complex landscape. Last thing before I sign off, and I want to be direct. 0 seats left in the GPS displacement window review. When this window closes, the terrain that justified it moves on. Tomorrow's signal will be different. The next session will read a different board. If the brief we just walked through gave you a reason to act, now is the time. Code GPS 282, communities.theicon.ai/capture the-govcon-elite, 6.4 million records, 4 verticals ready, provenance traced from bill to award. Like and subscribe if you're managing a federal grant, research, GovCon, or commercial portfolio. I drop a new GPS brief every weekday. All links, terminal preview, Shipley sessions, live cohort calendar, and the full brief are at communities.theicon.ai/capture/the-govcon-elite. Register free, and it's all there. This is Gabriel. I'll see you tomorrow. Just a quick note, you'll be disconnected in 5 seconds.